this might be one of the most uncomfortable conversations in modern politics. Not because the data is unclear, but because talking about it at all has become radioactive. Depending on who you ask, demographic change in the United States is either a dangerous conspiracy theory or an exciting evolution of a melting pot society. But regardless of how people feel about it, the numbers themselves are not controversial. For the first time in American history, the white population is declining. In 1980, about 79.6% of the US was white. That number went down to 61.9% by 2014. Today, that number is closer to 58%. And according to the US Census Bureau, not Fringe Media, white Americans are projected to become a minority by the mid-2040-50s. Similar trends are playing out across the developed world, from the UK to Canada to parts of Europe. Some people look at this and say, so what? Populations change. Others feel like something foundational is being lost: culture, identity, shared values. And when they try to talk about it, they're told the discussion itself is dangerous. At the same time, political leaders, media, and corporations don't just acknowledge these changes, they celebrate them. That contradiction is where a lot of the anger comes from. So the real question isn't whether demographic change is happening. It is. The real question is why it's happening, and why it's happening so fast. To understand that, you have to look at economics. Across the developed world, population growth is collapsing. Fertility rates have fallen below replacement levels. Fewer children means fewer workers, fewer taxpayers, and more retirees drawing from the system. Governments still need growth, but if native populations aren't replacing themselves, and politicians won't or can't reverse that trend, there's only one option left: import people. Immigration becomes a substitute for organic growth. And economically, it works, at least on paper. Immigration increases demand for housing, goods, and services. It supports asset prices. It expands the tax base. And if you already own assets, property, stocks, businesses, you benefit. Political leaders benefit too, because population growth often translates into political power. But this strategy has a cost that GDP doesn't measure. When people are brought in faster than a country can absorb them, cultural tension rises. Assimilation becomes harder, not easier. And people who don't own assets, who live in the real world of changing neighborhoods, schools, and job markets, feel the pressure first. Immigration isn't the problem by itself. Speed is. When immigration works, newcomers adapt to the country they join. When it doesn't, the country is forced to adapt to them. That difference matters. And when people feel like they're being told to accept rapid change without discussion, while being punished for questioning it, the conversation stops being rational and turns into conspiracy. In the end, this isn't about race, it's about honesty. If immigration is being used as an economic tool to replace lost growth, leaders should say that openly. If cultural cohesion matters, it needs to be protected deliberately, not dismissed. A country should be able to welcome new people and preserve shared values. But that requires limits, pacing, and real debate. Without that, you don't get unity. You get division, and a system that serves growth on paper while leaving people on the ground feeling unheard.